Hey, welcome to LegalNoggin. This is Jeremy again, and one of the things we want to talk about a little bit today is, do I need to talk to my employer about my disability? And the answer is yes. That's sort of a short answer, but let me give you a little more detail on that, put a little more meat on the bones. Problem a lot of times with employees is that they will contact us and say, my employer won't accommodate me. My employer will not give me medical leave or what have you. And when we ask them, have you talked to your employer about your medical condition? One of the first things they say is, it's really none of their business. I don't want to have that conversation with them. Well, the truth is, you really do need to have that conversation with them. Now, there's no magic words that you need to do to seek an accommodation. There's no magic words really to seek family medical leave if you're, let's say, in a business that has 50 or more employees within a 75-mile radius of the employment location where you work, and you've worked at least a year and 1,250 hours. Those are some of the small little details that you need to be considering. But if you go to your employer and you're having a conversation with them about family medical leave, they'll be able to help you understand whether you're eligible or not. But guess what? You can't really do that unless you're willing to discuss some things about your medical condition. And frankly, they have a need to know, and they have a right to know if they're going to be able to help accommodate you. So yes, you do have to go to your employer and have that conversation. That'll be your supervisor or human resources. Don't call us and tell us that you went to an employee, one of your coworkers, and had this conversation, and then later you get fired, because guess what? It doesn't matter. Having a conversation with your fellow worker or your coworker is not going to get you what you need. You've got to have the conversation with your supervisor or with HR, and you need to document it. Make sure it's written down in some capacity. Sometimes there's internal memorandums, sometimes there's emails, sometimes there's text messages. It's a good thing to have those and to keep them, because if something happens later, and guess what? Chances are it will, because the employers often are like, this person's taking too much time for medical leave. It doesn't matter how little it is or how long it is. A lot of times they're still saying the same thing. Now, there's good employers out there, people that work with their employees, and we're thankful for them. But in many, many cases, we get calls from people who said, I took some time off, I came back, and guess what? They fired me. Well, the question is then, what are the things that you communicated to your employer? Did you talk to them about the fact that you not only needed medical leave, but when you took the leave, did you tell them that you were taking it because of your family medical leave issue? You were taking it because of the workplace issue. You can't just call in and say, I've got the bug today. That's not going to qualify. You have to be able to call in and say, this is related to my family medical leave. You have to follow what the employer's asking you to do. So that's really what we wanted to discuss a little bit today, because in many, 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 many cases, we get people that say, it's not their right to know about those things. Yes, it is. Now, like I said, there are some things you don't have to get into too much in depth about. Like, if you go to your employer and you say that you have cancer, or you go to your employer and you say you have anxiety or depression or something like that, you don't have to get into all the minute details about things that went on in your past or the type of cancer that it is or things like that. You don't necessarily have to get into all of that, but you do have to let them know enough to put them on notice so that then they decide to try to work with you. And if they don't and they fire you, then you need to call an attorney in your jurisdiction and have a conversation with them about whether or not that you've been fired as a result of your disability. Okay? So we wanted to help you out there today. We appreciate you watching LegalNoggin. We're going to try to continue to bring these videos to you from time to time to help you more. Thanks again. Have a great day.